Good morning, student. In previous lecture, we have studied about Hayes bridge as a part of measurement of self-inductance. In today's lecture, we will study about Anderson bridge. This is the last part of measurement of self-inductance in an AC bridge chapter. Basically, the Anderson bridge is used for the measurement of low self-inductance or inductance coil. In all the previous three methods, they are used for like Maxwell inductance bridge, Maxwell inductance capacitance bridge, and Hayes bridge is used for measurement of medium or high inductance values. This method is one of the commonest and best bridge method for precise measurement of inductance over a wide range. This method, unknown self-inductance is measured in terms of known capacitance and resistance by the comparison. It is actually modification of Maxwell-Bayes bridge and is an example of more complicated network bridge. This is the circuit diagram of Anderson bridge. Here R1 and L1 are unknown quantities. R2, R3 and R4 are non-inductive resistance, non-inductive resistance and known parameters. We have joined this small r from our capacitance C. Here we use the capacitance, it's of fixed type. In previous case or in Hayes bridge and in Maxwell-Bayes bridge, we have used capacitor of variable type. So this fixed type capacitor gives us advantages over the both two bridges we have studied. Coming to the vector diagram of Anderson bridge, in this vector diagram, I1, I2, we have taken I1, I2 as a reference. Here we can see that all the other current are not in phase with I1, I2. Now, by the adjustment of variable impedances, we have make IC as 90-degree phase apart from this I1, I2. We have IC here. In same phase, we have ICR. The current through this small r is IC, is also equals to IC. Sorry, let's suppose this current through this smaller is IC. So in same phase we have ICR. Now the voltage drop at this end BC and EC will be same at the when the bridge is balanced, because the potential at this B point and E point will be same. So the potential difference between both these arms will be same. So the potential difference V2 and potential difference between EC will be same. So what is the potential at this arm EC will be IC divided by omega C. So we have in same phase I1, I2, we have V2 is equals to I2, R2 is equals to IC divided by omega C. So the resultant between ICR and V2 will have our V4. So the resultant of this line and this line will have our V4. So whenever we'll get V4 is equals to I4 R4, in same phase we'll have I4, and resultant of our IC and I4 will give us I3. Here we can see that the coming current I3 from this arm is equals to IC and I4. So we have I3 from this both parameters. Extending this, we'll have our V3, that is equals to I3 R3. Now for the resultant of V, the total potential difference across the AC bridge will have a resultant of V1 and V2, or the potential difference between V3 and V4 will have total V. So we are taking both the cases in here because we have make v2, v4, v3 and v1. So from the resultant of v1 and v2 we'll have v. Similarly from the resultant of v3 and v4 we'll also have v. Now coming to the equivalent diagram of Anderson bridge. So basically we'll see from here first what we are doing. We are simplifying this arm AD, DE and DC. Now we are taking this star connection and will convert this star into a delta connection to simplify this bridge. Here you can see we have taken R3, R4 and small r. This capacitor is in connection with C and D. You can see this capacitor, the potential at this and this point will be like same, or we have taken this star, so the connection of this capacitor is directly we have taken from like C and D. So we have this star connection. We'll convert this star connection into this delta. Between this AD will have our RAD. Between this AC will have our RAC, and in between CD will have RCD in replacement of R4 and R. By simplifying this star to delta, we'll replace this delta in our Anderson bridge and we'll get this equivalent Anderson bridge. Here we have put AD, between AD we have put RAD and RAC between A and C point. Between D and C we'll have RCD, and we have in parallel with RCD we have our capacitance. We have make connection of detector from the outer side for not making this diagram more complicated. Now coming to the bridge balance condition, we have our I2 is equals to I1. We have IR, that is the current through our small r, which is we have already discussed that the current through our small r is IC. So small IR is equals to IC. We have I3 is equals to I4 plus IC, and potential difference, our potential V1 is equals to V3 plus ICR. Also our potential V2 is equals to V4 plus IC multiplied by small r. By using the star delta transformation, we have RAD is equals to R3 multiplied by R in bracket the addition of all the three resistance in reciprocal, 1 by R4 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R. Similarly we'll have RCD and RAC. This is our basic star delta transformation. Now we have all the three values RAD, RCD and RAC. The Anderson bridge is reduced to equivalent Anderson bridge and is similar to Maxwell-Vanes bridge. We have make assumption here, like we'll directly compare our values from the Maxwell-Vanes bridge. We'll use the Maxwell-Vanes bridge unknown parameters for our Anderson bridge. Using relation derived from Maxwell-Vanes bridge, we have R1 is equals to R2 R3 divided by R4 from Maxwell-Vanes bridge. So by putting this value from R equivalent Anderson bridge, we'll have R2. In place of R3 we have RAD, and in place of R4 we'll have RCD. Putting the value of RAD and RCD, we'll have R2 R3 R4 in bracket 1 by R4 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R whole divided by R4 small r in bracket 1 by R4 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R. these terms will get cancelled out, this small r and this whole. So finally we'll get our unknown parameter r1 is equals to r2 r3 by r4. Similarly, from Maxwell-Wein's-bridge we will have L1 is equals to C r2 r3. If we put the values of from R Anderson equivalent bridge, we'll have C as a C, R2 is R2 and R3 as RAD. By putting the value of RAD, we'll have our equation like this. C R2 R3 R multiplied by 1 by R4 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by small r. Simplifying this term, we'll have L1 is equals to C R2 by R4 in bracket R whole bracket R3 plus R4 plus R2 R4. So we'll have our two unknown parameters R1 and L1 by directly comparing our equation with Maxwell-Wein's-bridge. This is the simplest and less complicated method for finding L1 and R1. We'll have to keep in mind what is the value of L1 and R1 in the case of Anderson bridge by heart actually. So this Anderson bridge is more important in our chapter AC bridges. Now coming to the advantages and disadvantages of Anderson bridge. In advantages, we have already mentioned that Maxwell bridge is used for the for low inductance coil. I'm just reading out this for you. In case of adjustment are carried out by manipulating the control over R1 and small r, they become independent of each other. This is marked superiority over sliding balance condition met with low Q coils when measuring with Maxwell bridge. A study of convergence condition would reveal that it is much easier to obtain balance in the case of Anderson bridge than in Maxwell bridge for low Q coils. A fixed capacitor can be used instead of a variable capacitor in case of Anderson bridge. In case of Anderson bridge, we have used fixed capacitor instead of variable capacitor that is used in Maxwell bridge. Third one is this bridge may be used for accurate determination of capacitance in terms of inductance. Like from this equation, we can find unknown C. If our L1 is known, our self-inductance is known. If there is some fixed capacitor that is unknown, so we can find our capacitance value in terms of inductance. That is what the third point is trying to say. Now coming to the disadvantages of the Anderson bridge. The Anderson bridge is more complex than its prototype Maxwell bridge. The Anderson bridge has more parts and it is more complicated to set up and manipulate. The balance equations are not simple and in fact are much more tedious. An additional junction point increases the difficulty of shielding the bridge. So in this chapter we have studied about Anderson bridge as a part of self-inductance, measurement of self-inductance. This is the last part of this measurement of self-inductance. In next lecture we'll study about measurement of capacitance as a part of AC bridges, our next topic. For any query related to this topic, you can write me. This lecture notes will be get uploaded on our college website. Till then, continue your lectures. Stay healthy, stay safe.